Alright, we're back on video games. I'm going to say this right now. I'm on short time, so I'm going to try to make this somewhat quick, okay? But also, I just wanted to give you some news before I leave, you know what I mean? So I can keep up with the videos. So, I'll put it like this. I'm not very surprised of what I've seen this week in gaming, and you know what, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think at this point anything can surprise me, especially with these crazy people online, especially these anti-gamergaters. Now it's getting to a point now where, well, we already knew they were hypocrites. But now it's really starting to show. And for every time they come out and say that this is about, you know, being against, you know, harassment and, you know, women shouldn't be treated this way, they go ahead and do it themselves. That's right. We've seen this now. So, like I said, if you're not on their side, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, they will try and tear you down as much as possible. That's what they do. And they think for some reason that's cool. So when they say that, you know, harassment and women in gaming, they mean a select few that they, you know, that they accept. That's what it is. Now, I showed you before in videos where they said, you know, they were offering bounties, I should say prices, for pictures of men in Gamergate that they would sleep with. We saw that before. Now, it's starting to hit the women of Gamergate. That's right, because now they want photos of women who are not fat or slutty or mentally ill, apparently. And so, like I said, this is what they're going to do. They're going to tear you down, man or woman, and they're going to use the same stereotypes. Gamers are dorky, they're ugly, they're fat, they're geeky. This is stuff that they're going to use. Matter of fact, I'll show you it right now. I thought this was about, you know, being for the progress of women in gaming. Oh, I forgot. Like I said, it's only for those that you feel as though that you accept. Not all women in gaming you're accepting. So apparently, we can have a handful of female developers, that's okay, and other female developers that are in Gamergate, all of a sudden they're trying to get their games taken down. But what about the female gamers that you keep knocking down? If this is about helping women, because that's what this has been about, right? This is what they keep claiming this is about. Helping women and harassment of these women, then you're doing it yourself now at this point. How much of a hypocrite can you be? But you know what? Let's move on. We're going to talk about more about harassment with females. Now, for those who don't know, I want to talk about this right now. There was a woman that Jezebel apparently wrote an article about. It's about a video game reviewer is contacting mothers of her online harassers. Okay? Apparently she was receiving rape threats and things of this nature. And I want to talk about this because I said how many years ago when this type of stuff happened, what I say, where's your parents? Every time, you know, a game is bought, where's your parents? When we see it online and kids act a fool in Call of Duty, where's your parents? Let me talk to your parents. Matter of fact, there's been a number of Call of Duty, commentators who have done videos trying to talk to other kids' parents while they're playing the game. This is nothing new. However, this article says that she's a hero. Yeah, a hero for contacting the mothers of these kids who are sending these type of death threats. A hero. I swear, man, this has been done so much. It's like these people have never been in our community and seen this type of stuff, and all of a sudden it's new to them, so now they're going to latch onto it. And it's funny because they still try to tie it to Gamergate, where the girl herself that was harassed, she says to them on her Twitter, she says, I don't feel comfortable that you're trying to connect this with Gamergate because it has nothing to do with it. And while these so-called social justice warriors have decided that they're going to keep taking this, you know, this stance, this anti-Gamergate stance, it's funny because the same people who are trying to block others, and I showed you before, the architect behind that stupid algorithm that was blocking people like KFC, which made no sense, now she's back. And this time, she wants so much fame that she's going to try and use Ferguson as a crutch. This is how pathetic they've become. And I want to say this as well, okay? Because we know she has a Patreon, so she's trying to get paid. But it's amazing how all these people who were on the top tier list of all this stuff are talking about, you have to be careful now because people have Patreons and Indiegogos. We knew this for a very long time, way before Gamergate. Matter of fact, Preon even did a patrol on Patreon on her. And for those who follow Black Preon, he's been doing patrol on Patreons before Gamergate was even thought of. So this is something that we've been doing for a while. And it seems like you still don't want to give people the credit they deserve. It's pretty pathetic. It really is. It's sad, actually. But that's not all. You know what's even more sad? What's even more pathetic? The fact that social justice warriors now are trying to say that they have PTSD. That's right. They're going to sit here, and I want to make sure I get this right. Okay? I just want to make sure. They're trying to say that because you gamergaters, or just gamers in general, are harassing them that they're suffering from PTSD. You've got to be kidding me. This is what we're seeing right now, because we got to make this very well known. So somebody calls you a name on 4chan or 8chan or whatever chan, and all of a sudden you have PTSD. As opposed to the soldiers who come home with PTSD. And we've seen this. I've done so many reports on this, have I not? For people who have been watching me for a very long time. I've always shown you the connection of what video games have done to help soldiers in this manner. For you to sit here and say you have PTSD because of some online harassment, first off, you're an adult. You should know online harassment, that shouldn't even be a factor at this point for you. Alright? That is pathetic altogether. But the fact that you're going to sit here and claim PTSD and keep screaming it so that you can get attention, no, you don't have PTSD, you're just sensitive. That's all it is. And if you can't handle online, because it seems like a lot of these people don't know how to use Twitter, they don't know how to use Facebook, they don't know how social media works, get off the internet then. Get up. Like I said, a lot of people are not built for this. It's clear. But if you're going to use that so that you can be a professional victim when you have real people who have PTSD, that is pathetic. If you feel that way, if you feel as though you really have PTSD, then you know what? I need for them to start coming out and start talking about PTSD then. And I'm talking about the effects, the awareness, who has been suffering from this for a very long time. Because us gamers, we've been talking about this once again for years. For years. Told you, every step they take, we've already done it. We've already spoke on it. We already see it coming. We already know how to combat it. The only people who don't are those who weren't around at the time. So it's news to them. It's big time, it's a big thing now. But it's not for us. Here's the sad part of all this. Because for all these social justice warriors to start claiming PTSD, alright, then you need to start giving to those causes. You need to start highlighting those soldiers. You need to start showing that games can change and can help those people. I've done it. There's been plenty of people who've done these videos on this. Plenty of articles written about this stuff. Like I said, this is something that you haven't touched on, but now you're going to use that as your crutch as well. You couldn't use us as your shield, and now you're trying to use this. Sad. I do want to move on, though, okay? I want to talk about EA real quick. Yes, EA! You know what? Actually, EA didn't do anything wrong this time. They're actually being attacked, for those who don't know. EA Online Services allegedly brought down by Lizard Squad, okay? And in the same time, Xbox Live is down, and Lizard Squad is taking credit. So just to let you know, I believe that Xbox Live is back up now. Also, for some reason, Sony was attacked not too long ago. I would say check your accounts just to make sure everything is intact and in order. Like I said, just because you pay for Xbox Live, and we talked about this before, because when Sony was hacked, Xbox fans was like, this is why we pay for Xbox Live. And we were like, nope, you can be hacked too. And as we know, the Xbox Live has been hacked numerous of times. So regardless if you pay for it online or not, for that security, it doesn't matter. It can still be breached. It can be breached. So I'm just letting you know, check your accounts, Xbox fans, and make sure everything is fine, okay? At this point, you shouldn't even have a credit card on there. After what happened with Sony and the PSN hack the first time, I'm shocked that anybody would still put their credit card information in one of these security systems. Go pay, get a prepaid card or something. Y'all know how it is for points. That's what you should be doing. Don't put your personal information, online cards and credit cards and stuff like that on their system. You know that. This is, like I said, this is not the first time Xbox Live has been hacked. It's not. Now, let's move on. Speaking of Sony, Sony will refund customers over deceiving PS Vita ads. Now, for those who have not seen that, I'll put the link in the info bar. Why not? I mean, seriously, if consumers are really that deceived, go get your money back. Get your money back, give them back their PS Vita, and never speak of it again. How about that? I don't want to hear you got your money back and you're still going to complain about it. I don't want to hear that. Okay? And Sony pulled the ads anyway. But let's keep moving on. Speaking of pulling things, CCP, that's right, Games shuts down Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines fan remake. Y'all don't learn. Y'all just don't learn. These cease and desist orders and things of that nature, all it does is make you look bad. Whether you have another one coming out or it's your IP, seriously, you're taking away a fan game. They're not going to make any money off it. It's a fan-made game. I don't understand why people still keep knocking down fan-made games. Are you afraid that these fans, who are diehard fans, are going to make you look bad? Is that it? Are they going to do a better job than you? I mean, what's the end game here? You're silencing a fan base. You should be happy that a fan base wants to make a game off of something you made. It shows loyalty. It shows when you decide if you want to make another game, they're going to buy it. That's what it means. You may get some criticism and say, well, the fan game made was better than this one, which also means you should take that criticism and say, hey, that's what we should do. They made their game. They made a standard. Let's trump it. Let's go higher. But it seems like that's not what you want to do. You just want to silence everyone these days. It seems like that's the easiest thing to do for companies. Let's move on, man. Speaking of more working, GTA 5 online issues still persist. That's right. So Rockstar is now working on fixes alongside online heists. So, as we know, GTA 5, when it first came out for the PS3 and Xbox 360, we knew that had problems. Now with the new generation launch, you're still having problems. I don't understand how people... Next gen, no. I still don't understand how this is still a problem. You should have learned from the last time it happened. But, let's move on. Speaking of learning from the last time things have happened, and apparently, it still hasn't, alright? Ubisoft, that's right, we gotta talk about Ubisoft, that's right. Assassin's Creed Unity. Players will get free DLC in wake of Rocky launch. You haven't learned anything, have you? And I say this to gamers and to the industry. How many times have we seen before Assassin's Creed Unity that when something is bad, oh, we'll shut them up by just giving them free DLC. That's what they do. Anytime something happens, we'll just give them something free and they'll shut up about it. Gamers, I don't understand how you can take that, just take that line down. I really don't. At this point, you should be like, I don't want your free DLC. You should have fixed it before, since you don't want to fix your games. Because like I said, we know this isn't the first time Ubisoft has had problems at launch. Fix your games at launch, and this wouldn't be a problem. Until then, I'm not going to buy your games. But it seems like gamers will still run and buy these games. Day one patches, day one problems, bugs. Seriously, I'm going to get to this, alright? Because Assassin's Creed Unity, the patch for it, has over 300 fixes. 300. Over 300. It goes to show you that they just decided we're just going to release this buggy mess and you're going to buy it because of off of brand name. Gamers, this is your time to stand up and say, no, it's not just about giving us free DLC. But yet, people aren't going to combat this at all, huh? Okay, whatever. Anyways, I want to move on to the fighting game community real quick. Smash Brothers breaks the Wii U sales record, as it should. That game is a contender for Game of the Year, if you ask me. It's a contender. Alright? Bayonetta 2 is a contender. The Nintendo Wii U this year really brought the guns. And I don't understand how people did not see that after E3. Now we have people just now saying, well, I just bought my Wii U. I wasn't sold yet. How were you not sold on that E3 presentation? How were you not sold? When you saw those games coming and they started getting released, it was like, hey, you should be ready for the wave because this is when it's coming. I don't know. I understand if people couldn't afford it just yet. That's a different story. I'm talking about people who could afford it and still was like, oh, well, I'm just going to sit back and sit back. Now you want to praise it to the moon. It's been like that since E3, man. They had enough games to get you over the hump to the holiday, before this fall season came. They did. It's called being a smart consumer. Now you're going to get all these bundles. Now they're just going to throw everything at you. Everything. This is what they do during the holiday season, which is why it was probably best to do it during, right after E3. When we saw the numbers after E3, a lot of people were sold and were like, yo, we're going to go run to that. That's right. It had enough, like I said, it had more than enough games to hold you over until now. So your catalog should have been pretty big at this point. I'm just saying. But now you're scrambling. I see a lot of people scrambling on Black Friday and throughout the rest of the season to get a bunch of games. So now you're going to buy them all in one large chunk when you really didn't need to. You could have got these games at a really discounted price. Now you're going to go and fight mobs because we've seen it over Black Friday. People's fighting over TVs and carrying on. Now you're going to fight mobs to get what you want. People, I will say this again. We've said it every year. Just order online. Don't put yourself through that. Really. Get your Christmas shopping done early and do it online if you need to. You don't want to deal with those crazy people. You really don't want to. Anyways, I do want to move on. I want to have just a little update, okay? Now, last week, was it last week? I don't think it was last week. It was the week before. Focus Attack. That's right. I talked about the Focus Attack food drive that went on, through Thanksgiving to feed the homeless. And I looked for more articles to see, how much they actually made, during that charity event. For turkeys, all you had to do was bring in food cans or to play, Street Fighter 4, King of Fighters, games like that. But you had to bring cans of food. there were no paid admission. Even though they could take a charity donation, all you had to do was bring cans of food. Well, here's the thing. Couldn't find an article on an update. However, after, sifting around other articles that did, one before, the charity happened, you have to understand that only one thing I found, and this is exactly how much they made, or so, this is what, the person who was running the tournament, the charity fund, this is what they said that they made over that time to feed the homeless. So as you can see, 1,260 cans and $67 for turkeys. That is a new high for them. Congratulations, FGC. Congratulations. You did a really good thing. And it goes to show you that this could be something that they do every year. It just gets bigger and bigger. And it's for a great cause. So it's great to see. I definitely applaud them for doing it. It takes a lot of heart to have a charity like that and say, hey, you know what, we're going to do all this stuff, we're going to get all these games together, we're going to have all this going on, and you really don't even have to pay for anything. You just need to bring food. There's no price for admission, And you have to understand, all that equipment and all that stuff costs money. Streaming and carrying, that stuff costs money. So to see these people pretty much doing this out of the goodness of their heart and only asking you to bring cans of food for the homeless, that's great. It really is. It's great. I want to move on. I want to talk another charity. Clan of the Grey Wolf Charity Marathon begins December 12th through December 14th. So if you're interested in that, by all means, check it out. I will leave the link in the info bar to their YouTube channel that tells you the details of what's going on. Okay? Also, we need to talk about some things now. This is where it gets a little rough, I'll say. Bloodsport. A game that draws real blood when you lose gets shut down on Kickstarter. That's right. So let's get into this real quick, all right? Let's talk about this. Here's how it works. When you take damage in a game like Call of Duty, the controller rumbles. It says, all Bloodsport's creators did was reroute this signal using a board to determine how much blood is drawn. The process was stopped when you reached a set blood donation quantity. So pretty much this is for donations, okay? This is for giving blood. Now I will say this, a lot of people said that this could be something that's good for people who don't like to give blood. Actually, I think it'll be the opposite. People who don't like to give blood because they're afraid of needles and things of that nature, this is just going to it's going to be a daunting task for them even longer than what it really is. Now, I do see this as a right move to shut it down due to the fact that you put this in the wrong hands, there's going to be a problem. This also will probably violate FDA regulations. You have to understand there's a lot of things that go on with this. Now, here's my biggest problem with all this, because pretty much when you get hurt in a game, that's when you start to lose blood. All right, now you're moving around using your controller, dipping and dodging or whatever when you're trying to get into the game, but you also have to understand when you give blood, especially for a person like myself who gives blood all the time to the Red Cross, they tell you, do not move. Do not move. You're giving blood, they have the little blood packs, do not move. They don't want the needle to turn any other way. So if you're getting hooked up and you're moving around your arms and everything while you're playing, that's going to become a problem. It really is. Now, I will say this. While it does sound okay in theory, I don't think that it should work this way. There has to be another way around it. Like, seriously, if you want to give blood, just go give blood. You don't need a video game to go do it. You're not going to be there long. All they're going to do is either make you sit down, or in some cases, they make you lay down. That's what they do. Okay? Now, I do want to say I have a problem with this part. Okay? Bloodsport was aiming to begin a tour of Canada in March 17th, timed with the release of Battlefield Hardline. So they were going to use Hardline to set this up. Okay? It says, in an effort to drum up hype, it says, the project creators were also hoping to get celebrities such as PewDiePie. Automatically, you shouldn't, okay? Seth Rogen. Now, you're going to tell me you're going to try and get Seth Rogen, the very same Seth Rogen that just bashed video gamers just not too long ago on his Twitter, all right, over Gamergate. You want to go get that guy. You got to be kidding me. Already, you're in the wrong, okay? Snoop Dogg. Really? Why? Because he's done so many voiceovers? Is that it? What has Snoop Dogg done anyway these days? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like his music, but let's be honest here. Snoop Dogg is just, leave him to himself, okay? And Conan O'Brien to play Bloodsport. Now, as we know, Conan O'Brien usually has a lot of games on his show or whatever. He does that. So does Jimmy Fallon, I believe. So, you're going to go get a bunch of celebrities to plug this for hype. And the fact that the only gamer out of it, if you want to call him a gamer, is PewDiePie. That's the only one. You've got to be kidding me. That is pathetic. That's how far you're trying to reach to get this to work. You don't need celebrities, okay? Let me explain something to you. You are using the game community without using the community. Get gamers to approve this. Get developers to approve this. Get publishers to approve this. That's where you'll get to, because that's where it works, within the community. If you can get into the community, that's fine. But for you to reach out to Hollywood, all right, that's not going to help you. Or unless you really believe that Hollywood really drives everything that we do here. And if you really believe that, and I guess you can say that with your Call of Duties and things, because if you notice in those commercials or those voice actors, oh, it's Hollywood. Look how people acted when Snoop Dogg was doing the soundboard. People ran to it. They flocked to it. So, and Ice Cube was in Call of Duty as well, and people love that. Like, celebrity voices. I get it. They want better voice acting. But you do not need Seth Rogen, who doesn't care about the game community. You don't need Snoop Dogg. We know he does pretty much everything. He's been in NBA 2K. He's been in everything. All right? You don't need Conan O'Brien. Like I said, focus on community. Or should we just start this thing, a PSA, community first? Should we start that? I swear. This is just, like I said, it's the way they shut it down, I'm for it because of the fact that it could violate FDA regulations. I can see that being a problem in the wrong hands. If something goes wrong, how will they be able to handle it? I understand why they shut it down. But the fact that you were going to go get celebrities that's pathetic, man. So let's move on, alright? Ass Hunter app, that's right. Gay killing game has been pulled from Google Play. That's right, so let's get into this as well, alright? It says, homophobic Ass Hunter app, gay killing game pulled from Google Play. It says, in the beginning it says, play and do not be gay. Reads the description of this free mobile phone game, downloaded 10,000 times from Google Play before it was pulled from the Android App Store. Okay? Ass Hunter. It says, the game in question was uploaded by Developer App Day on 5 November and puts players in control of a man tasked with hunting and shooting gay men portrayed as predators. Yeah, portrayed as predators. It's funny because when you talk to gay people or gay guys or girls, the first thing, especially with gay men, when you talk to them, the funniest thing I see, like, because I've worked with a number of them, on projects, the funniest thing that I see and hear is when people talk about how they think that they're always so, they're like this Adonis, like they're just so attractive, like gay men, like all men. They don't have a preference, and I think that's funny because you should know, even if you have a preference in whatever gay person you like or whatever straight person you like, man or woman, you know that gay people are going to have the same preference. They're not going to go after all men. So apparently, this game feels as though you're just this big hunk of meat that everybody wants. That's the funny part, I feel. I think that's the joke within itself, but it's still offensive to the fact that you would think that. So, of course, they're going to get mad about it. Now, it says, in the description, calls Ass Hunter a legendary game where you're a hunter and your mission is to kill gays as much as you can. Remember, they catch you, they will do whatever they want. You've got to be kidding me. See, this is what I'm talking about. So, yeah, pull the game. Pull the game. I mean, we've seen a lot worse, but I guarantee you if this was White Hunter killing all these black people, we would be screaming racism. So, as far as I'm concerned, yeah. Pull the app. There was no reason for it to be there. And apparently Google had just not too long ago another app that was pulled as well, which is in the article as well. So let's move on to some good news, okay? Samurai Warriors 4 2 has been announced for the PS4, PS3, and PS Vita. So Samurai Warriors fans, get ready. It's coming, okay? Now, Capcom also is teasing a new PS4 game announcement coming soon. Now, here's the thing. Capcom, it doesn't matter what you tease at this point, unless it's something outside of Street Fighter. And in the comments, people were saying, I hope it's Street Fighter 5. Give it a rest. As many games as you have in your back catalog, please be something good. They're hinting that it's possibly Onimusha. We'll see. We already know. I said, I don't know how long ago during development phase, I said, you know what? I believe Onimusha is coming. And people was like, I don't know about that event. And I said, oh, it's coming. And then we started seeing reports that Onimusha was coming. And then they tried to say it was going to be an online-only game. And then everyone was like, wow, we hope that's not true. And then it went silent for a while. And then they started talking about it again. Then it went silent a while. Now we're seeing speculation that this is Onimusha. You can't say I haven't been on top of this. You can't, okay? Now, I do want to move on. Let's some good news before I end this video, okay? It says, here's some good news. This is what a gamer sent me. It says, here's some good gaming-related news that might cheer you up. It says, recently backers of River City Ransom Underground that pledged to the right tiers got their retro game boxes, and the cartridge has a copy of the original game on it that was a complete surprise. It says, I'm not sure how much of a secret that is, so it's supposed to be, so yeah. Well, secret is out. How about that? So, no, but it's good to see that, alright? River City Ransom Underground. If you haven't played the original River City Ransom, it was a great game for its time. Still one of my favorite games. I would suggest, like I say, if you haven't played it, please play it. But it's great to see that, gamers are getting their stuff. Because as we know, when you pledge to things like this, we've seen so many of them, from time to time again. Now they're starting to fail. Should we even bring up the Outcast? Seriously, we've seen so many failures and finger pointing. And then, people who donate this money to these pledges, they don't get their product. They can't get a refund because you're not paying for a product yet. You're pretty much donating to a dream. And if that dream fails, you don't get your money back. There's a lot of pitfalls in Kickstarter and things of that nature that you really have to look for, have to look out for when you're deciding to, take that money out of your pocket and give it to somebody. You really need to look into it. There are some security issues as well that I would, like I said, you have to think about yourself first. I understand you want these games to be made, but please look at what's going on first. Look at the difference. See exactly how much, they have to make goal and things of that nature. Like I said, we've seen guys who are like, yo, I quit. And they'll just quit on everything and take the money and run. We've seen this. So you have to be very careful of who you're trusting with your money. Okay? Now, I want to say I'm done for today. I don't need that. Alright? Don't need that. I just want to say that I just wanted to get this quick video out. Hopefully it was quick. I don't know. Until I put it together. What was it? Just wanted to get it out real quick because I'm getting ready to leave soon. I believe Active Messiah has challenged myself, Gaming Anarchist, and Angela to Marvel vs. Capcom. I believe, once I get out to London. So, hopefully we'll do that. If so, I will be taking a recorder this time. Unlike what I did with Extra Life not too long ago. I forgot when you asked me. But I have 2 video recorders packed. So, hopefully, if we do get down to some Marvel vs. Capcom, I haven't played that game in a long time. I played it once, 2 years ago, I believe. And then after that, it was like, it's been years and years. So, whatever. Anyways, hopefully, if we do get to play, I'll get to record it, and I'll put up for you guys on YouTube. And like I said, until I get back, like I said, I'll be back next week. Like I said, it's only a week-long thing. I'll be back next week, and then we'll talk about more gaming news later. I will still be able, I'll be still able to be in contact, via, Twitter, fan page, on YouTube. I'm still looking through it. I'll still have the stuff with me, you know what I mean? So, I will talk to you then. Y'all be safe. I'll talk to y'all then. I'm out.